By then, though, we realized that Iraq did not have the WMD that we had suspected, and the focus became why were we so wrong regarding Iraq's WMD program, and what were his long-term intentions regarding Iraq's WMD program. Saddam's biggest enemy wasn't the United States, it wasn't even Israel, it was Iran. It was a country that he fought an 8-year war that he almost lost. A country that really threatened Iraq and his sovereignty. And it was only because of his far more developed weapons and WMD that changed the tide of the war and forced Ayatollah Khomeini to come to the negotiating table in 1987-88 timeframe and agree to that very fragile ceasefire. Saddam thought that if the Iranians found out how weak and vulnerable he had become because of the inspections and the sanctions, nothing would have prevented them from reinvading and taking southern Iraq, which they've always wanted because it has the two holy Shia. So he bluffed his biggest enemy into believing he was just as powerful and just as dangerous, while at the same time working very aggressively, tirelessly to get sanctions against Iraq lifted. By all accounts, if it wasn't for 9/11, sanctions against Iraq would have been lifted by 2002, and he would have reconstituted his entire WMD program because he needed to stay in par with Iran. We did not realize the implication and the effect of the decision of removing him and what that did to Iran, but we were going to learn our lesson. And in some sense, you look at where Iran is today within that region and being the regional power in that part of the world, he was right. Iran did have a relationship with Al-Qaeda, but it was at arm's length at best. He didn't trust Osama bin Laden, he didn't believe in the same ideology, and he went through that entire relationship and was very straightforward, and we were able to corroborate all of that information from the other detainees as well as some of the AQ officials that were captured on the battlefield. So by June 28th, we had really answered all of the key questions that pertain to WMD and Al-Qaeda, and as a result, the United States turned legal custody of Saddam from the United States over to the Iraqis. His status changed from enemy prisoner of war to criminal defendant in the Iraqi Central Criminal Court System. So our ability to interrogate him under Iraqi law